What are you watching?
What are you watching? Elodie, le film!
As I stepped into the grand lobby of the CentaraWestBay Hotel and Residences, Doha, I was immediately struck by the stark disconnect between the glitzy facade and the chaotic reality that lay beneath. It was like walking into a beautiful, intricately crafted puzzle, only to discover that the pieces didn't quite fit together as promised. I had booked a room for 4 days, eager to unwind and recharge after a long, grueling trip. But what I got was a never-ending nightmare of bureaucratic red tape, sloppy service, and a general sense of apathy that permeated every corner of this supposedly luxurious establishment. Take the reception desk, for instance. The poor soul behind the counter seemed like she would rather be anywhere else, her eyes glazed over with a mixture of boredom and disdain as she mechanically checked me in. No warm smile, no welcoming gesture, just a curt room 314 and a hasty handover of the keys. It was as if I was an inconvenience, a necessary evil that she needed to tolerate in order to collect her paycheck. And then, there was the room itself. A drab, soulless space that looked like it had been decorated by a committee of tone-deaf accountants. The AC was so loud, it sounded like a jackhammer going off in my ear, and the Wi-Fi was about as reliable as a politician's promise. I had to go elsewhere just to get a decent internet connection, which, might I add, is a basic human right in this day and age. But hey, at least the furnishings were nice, right? Wrong. The dishwasher didn't work, the TV channels were limited, and don't even get me started on the reported insect infestation. It was like they took all the worst parts of a budget hostel and slapped a 5-star price tag on it. I mean, who does that? And what really takes the cake is that they had the audacity to charge me extra for a view that was nothing short of underwhelming. I mean, I've seen better vistas from a rundown motel on the side of the highway. It was like they thought I was some kind of sucker, willing to shell out top dollar for a subpar experience. But you know what the worst part is? It's not even the incompetence or the lack of effort. It's the complete and utter lack of empathy. They didn't care that I was tired, hungry, and frustrated. They didn't care that I had been looking forward to this break for months. They just didn't care, period. As I navigated the cold, dark corridors of the CentaraWestBay Hotel and Residences, Doha, I couldn't help but feel like I was trapped in some kind of bizarre, Kafkaesque nightmare. Every door I opened led to a new disappointment, every interaction with the staff a new letdown. So, I ask you, dear listener, have you ever had an experience so bad, it made you question the very fabric of reality? Have you ever felt like you were screaming into a void, with no one listening, no one caring? That's what it was like for me at the CentaraWestBay Hotel and Residences, Doha. A never-ending cycle of disappointment, frustration, and despair. And to think, I was supposed to be on vacation. I'm so tired, you know. I've been looking into all these scams and frauds near CentaraWestBay Hotel and Residences, Doha, and it's just so disheartening, like. Businesses near CentaraWestBay Hotel and Residences, Doha are like, super fancy and luxurious, but beneath the surface, there's some shady stuff going on. So, I didn't find any specific cases of scams or frauds in brick-and-mortar stores near CentaraWestBay Hotel and Residences, Doha, which is kind of surprising, but maybe that's because no one's reporting them. Like, who wants to admit they got scammed on vacation, right? But, I did find some patterns and stuff that made me go, something's fishy. Like, expats and visitors are saying how expensive things are in the luxury malls, and it's all so pretentious. I'm like, hey, guys, maybe it's not just the prices that are the problem, maybe it's the people behind the counters? You know? And, I'm predicting that if tourists aren't careful, they might fall for some sketchy sales tactics or overpriced souvenirs. I mean, who wouldn't want a fancy souvenir from Doha, right? But, it's like, be smart, people. Don't let the fancy lights and smiles fool you. I wish I could find more specific cases, but it's like, the more I dig, the more I realize that people just don't want to talk about it. It's like, this whole culture of silence and pretending everything's perfect, you know? But, I'm like, hey, let's shine a light on this stuff, let's make it known. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. I just hope that if you're planning a trip to CentaraWestBay Hotel and Residences, Doha, you'll be aware of these things and, like, stay safe, okay? The businesses surrounding CentaraWestBay Hotel and Residences, Doha, present a disconcerting picture. It's not merely that issues exist, it's the pervasive sense of a systemic disregard for basic customer expectations, a certain, casual acceptance of mediocrity, bordering on outright exploitation. Frankly, it's disheartening. The area feels less like a curated hospitality zone and more like a collection of opportunities for disappointment, carefully disguised with shiny facades. It's a landscape where trust seems to erode with every transaction, leaving a lingering sense of unease. Let's begin with the commercial heart of the immediate vicinity, the city center Doha Mall. Businesses clustered around this mall, as a whole, appear to operate under a philosophy of minimizing effort and maximizing profit, often at the customer's expense. This isn't a matter of isolated incidents, it's a pattern. It's a place where you can literally be injured by falling signage because someone thought double-sided tape was a sufficient safety measure. A feeling of dread settled within me as I read the review from MJ regarding a falling panel and a complete lack of assistance. It speaks to a fundamental failure in risk assessment and basic human decency. You're not just shopping, you're participating in a low-stakes obstacle course. Further reinforcing this sense of precarity is the experience detailed by Mrs. Latif at the Gissa stall. Inability to communicate, rudeness, a complete disregard for the customer. It's not merely poor service, it's an active rejection of engagement. It's like they want you to leave dissatisfied. I found myself picturing a small, silent protest unfolding within the stall, a deliberate attempt to discourage patronage. The implication is that if you don't speak the right language, you're simply not worth their time. A chill ran down my spine. It felt less like a shopping experience and more like a test. The culinary offerings within the mall don't offer much solace. Mira Tayyeb's review of a restaurant serving cheap noodles for high prices epitomizes a deeply ingrained dishonesty. It's a blatant misrepresentation of value, a calculated attempt to deceive. It's a culinary betrayal. The implication is that the entire operation is built on a foundation of shortcuts and inflated pricing. It leaves you wondering what else they're skimping on. My stomach churned, a visceral reaction to the thought of paying premium prices for substandard ingredients. Even basic logistics seem to be a battleground. And describes a chaotic pickup situation with taxis, forcing customers to navigate a poorly designed parking system with groceries in tow. It's not simply inconvenient, it's deliberately obtuse, designed to frustrate and disorient. I began to suspect a hidden agenda, a subtle attempt to discourage customers from relying on independent transportation. Katrina Mendoza eloquently details hour-long waits for ride-sharing services, compounded by unhelpful security staff and escalating costs. This is not an oversight, it's a systematic failure to prioritize customer convenience. The parking itself seems to be a source of constant aggravation, as illustrated by Ibro Ahmed's complaint about limited free parking for delivery drivers. It's a petty cost-cutting measure that disproportionately impacts those providing a service. A wave of indignation washed over me. It's a small injustice, perhaps, but indicative of a larger disregard for the needs of working individuals. Shella provides a scathing indictment of the entire parking system, citing overpriced fees, confusing signage, and malfunctioning payment kiosks. It's a maze designed to extract maximum revenue with minimum effort. Gael Sasko's terrifying account of being trapped in the parking garage for 2 hours, experiencing a panic attack, is a genuinely alarming warning. The thought of being held hostage by a parking structure, it's a dystopian scenario. Moving away from the mall, we encounter Jaula Spa and Club. Here, the overarching theme appears to be an utter lack of engagement and basic professionalism. The sparse reviews are largely devoid of detail, but the consistent 1-star ratings speak volumes. Even the few reviews that offer some information, like Aisha M. Wahizm's account of rude staff and an uncomfortable interaction with the manager, paint a picture of a deeply unpleasant experience. It's a place where you're more likely to encounter hostility than relaxation. It feels empty. Not just physically, but spiritually. Dalkini Restaurant, conveniently located within the Centara residences, is, perhaps, the most profoundly disappointing of all. The chorus of complaints revolves around consistently unavailable menu items, poor service, and a shocking disregard for quality.